Belief without teeth is a lullaby. Real belief carries a ledger and a guard. Belief has policy, not mood. You don't feel strong, you govern yourself. You set rules on your time, your money, your attention, and you enforce them when it's inconvenient. You decide how mornings begin, what work gets first light, and what must die to protect the mission. You price your hours like estate taxes. Grain, you limit meetings to those that decide. You answer messages at set windows, not at the whistle of someone else's urgency. You write budgets that match your aims, not your appetite. Then you obey your own laws when no one is watching. A prince who won't obey his own rules will not be obeyed by others. Your calendar becomes a public treaty. Your bank statement, a record of your true beliefs. Your focus, a border with guards. Belief is not a speech, it is a fence that holds when storms arrive. Results buy confidence. Proof precedes faith. You do not wait to feel certain. You buy certainty with small, repeatable wins. You set a task you can finish by dusk and finish it. You measure in weeks, not wishes. 1 page drafted, 1 demo shipped, 1 client renewed, 1 mile run, 1 pound lifted, receipts, not rumors. Each proof quiets the riot in your head more than any affirmation ever could. You learn to trust your hands because they deliver in public. You track a simple metric tied to your real aim: revenue per hour, pages per week, body fat, customer churn. You make the needle move, then you make it move again. Confidence grows like a wall, brick by brick, not by cheer. When fear shows up, you don't argue, you show the ledger. Here is the cadence. Here are the results. Here is the next brick. Fear respects numbers. It laughs at slogans. Stop asking. Start arranging. You replace prayers for validation with structures that force motion. You write agendas that put the decision first, not buried under chatter. You design defaults so that if no one chooses, you still advance. If we do not decide by Thursday, ships. You set deadlines that cost something to miss. A price increase after the window closes. A de-scope if requirements arrive late. You pre-commit to milestones in public, so your future self has fewer exits. You turn negotiations from fog into a menu. 2 options. 1 date, 1 owner. You invite allies to benefit visibly when you win, so they drag you across the line when you tire. You build a pipeline that makes you scarce by design, not by attitude, so people learn to fit your cadence or be replaced by those who can. Arrange the stage so that doing the right thing is easier than doing nothing. You do all this quietly, no trumpet, no sermon, only rules, receipts, and rhythm. If you wait to feel worthy, rivals will staff your schedule with their priorities and call it collaboration. If you depend on applause, patrons will rent your energy and pay you in promises. If you rely on talent alone, lesser players with better calendars will pass you like soldiers on a road while you give speeches to the trees. Ruthless self-belief is not cruelty, it is stewardship. You protect the resources that let you keep your word. You become the person others trust because you built a system that does not flinch. Today, write 3 laws you will obey. Law 1, the first 90 minutes of daylight belong to the hardest task. Law 2, no meetings without a decision or a price. Law 3, publish 1 proof every Friday before sleep. Post them where you can be seen. Then guard them with patience and teeth. When you fail, fix the law or fix your behavior. But never lie to the ledger. Over time, your rules will raise a city around you. Walls of habit, towers of delivery, gates that open and close on your command. The city is your belief made visible. Write the law. Keep the law. Let the law make you strong. Therefore, it is necessary to be a fox to discover the snares and a lion to terrify the wolves. The universe does not deliver, it invoices. Belief without machinery is perfume on a locked door. You can chant outcomes until your voice breaks. The hinge still needs a tool. Manifestation without levers is theater. Power moves by design. Incentives that pay for compliance. Coalitions that repeat your point when you leave the room, and teeth that close when terms are ignored. Start where prayer ends, with incentives. People do what protects their own ledgers. Tie your request to the number they are judged by: revenue, retention, risk avoided. If you want a feature shipped, show the metric lift and the cost of delay, then pre-arrange support that lowers their workload. You are not asking for faith. You are purchasing attention. Coalitions are your second lever. Map who gains if you move forward and who loses. If you stall, then seat them together so their interests echo in the room when you speak. Affirmations become useful only when they specify the lever. I will win the market becomes, I will win cohort B with a 2-week experiment and public metrics. You trade wish language for design language. Parts, people, calendar. A soft timeline chants hope. A hard timeline buys behavior. The universe's only miracle is compounding. Compounding belongs to those who set the machinery humming and keep it fed. Next, the niceness tax. Pleasant vagueness is a soft smile that steals days. You say yes to be agreeable, to keep the air warm, to demonstrate team spirit. Without terms, your yes becomes a blank check. Scope expands, deadlines ooze, respect thins. Vague niceness tells the room that your time is communal. It invites both the skilled manipulator and the well-meaning drifter to spend you. Trade approval seeking for clear terms and consequences. Short contracts spoken aloud, 2 iterations per week, feedback within 24 hours, changes beyond scope move to phase 2, and if approvals miss by noon, the date moves. Say it once, write it once, enforce it every time. You do not scold. You point to the posted rules. Predictability, not personality, becomes your armor. Notice how the tone calms when rules carry the weight. A client asks for just one more pass. You reply, include it in phase 2. Here are the added days and cost. A colleague pushes a weekend quick favor. You return, that fits Monday. If it must be weekend, we trade against X. Your warmth is intact, your spine is visible. Over weeks, people who need fog drift away. People who prefer clean lines line up. Now the patience trap. Waiting for the right moment is the costume of fear. Time does not clarify. It coagulates around incumbents. Without a schedule, the bold calendar rules. Vendors sit, partnerships cool. Decision rights leak into side channels. Quiet delay is a coup without blood. Install deadlines and defaults. Deadline, the latest responsible moment the choice must be made. Default, what happens automatically if no one decides. Declare both at the start. We choose the vendor by Friday at 3 p.m. Default is a 3-month renewal with current terms. Make delay expensive in the open. Slipping 1 week loses the holiday window and 2 sprints. Forecasted lift halves. When time has a price tag, courage improves. Use stage proofs to compress uncertainty. We test variant A for 14 days. Success equals a 5% activation lift in cohort B. If met, we scale. If missed, we revert and test C. Put the review on the calendar now. Publish criteria so no one can swap the scoreboard mid-game. You are not rushing, you are forcing truth to appear on schedule. Finally, the romance of talent. The world loves the tale of the gifted outsider chosen by destiny. Reality pays the average operator with placement, a patron, and a schedule. Talent without position is a blade without a handle, shiny, dangerous, and mostly dropped. Average skill repeated on time with a sponsor who needs the numbers outruns sporadic brilliance. Place yourself. If you cannot find a patron, become one by aligning with a metric a bigger player cares about. Offer to move their needle on a small front under strict terms. I will reduce churn in this segment by 10% within 60 days. I need 1 engineer for 20 hours and decision rights on onboarding copy. That is coalition math, humble, precise, and more loving than blind faith. It anchors you to someone else's scoreboard. Schedule yourself. Reputation is month-to-month rent, paid in delivery, a fixed cadence, weekly artifacts, monthly numbers, a quarterly narrative, compounds trust. The room invests where outcomes arrive like trains. Your story matters less than your timetables. A boring loop that produces surplus is romance in a ledger's language. And keep teeth visible. Without enforcement, coalitions melt, schedules slip, and patrons forget. Auto-expiring offers. Payment gates before new work, access that toggles off when terms are not met. When consequences are impersonal and automatic, relationships can stay warm. People relax because the system handles the hard talk. So strip the myths. Believe and receive becomes design and deliver. Be nice and be chosen becomes be clear and be reliable. Time will tell becomes deadline plus default. Talent will speak for itself. becomes place, sponsor, and schedule. Hope is not outlawed. It is assigned a job. Keep you steady while the machinery works. You do not need harsher words. You need sharper diagrams. Map the incentives. Draft the terms. Fix the calendar. Show the teeth. Build a small coalition that wants what you want for their reasons. Then repeat the loop until compounding drowns the noise. Fortune favors the prepared operator and the patron who sees their own gain in your advance. Replace wishes with levers, kindness with terms, and time with clocks. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. Belief is a gate. You swear you believe in your plan, your value, your team, and yet when pressure rises, old injuries slip the lock. Humiliation pushes you to perform. Scarcity whispers discounts into your throat. Anger reaches for a torch. These are not strategies. They are reflexes dressed as conviction. Today you name them and you replace them with orders you can carry in your pocket. The shadow does not vanish. It takes a job. Humiliation becomes showmanship. After being belittled, you overpromise, over-explain, and overpost. You enter meetings with fireworks and unpaid invoices to your future self. You list credentials no one asked for. You declare timelines your team cannot hold. You post the victory thread before the work is real. It feels like belief, standing taller, louder than doubt. In truth, it is a rescue mission for your worth, and rescue missions leak leverage. They teach rooms to wait you out because your noise reveals your need. Be candid, compassionate, without coddling. The wound wants applause. The work needs proof. Swap spectacle for one decisive, verifiable commitment. In the quarterly review, cut the orchestra and choose a single measurable pledge. We will reduce churn by 2 points in 8 weeks through targeted outreach to high-risk accounts. First check-in Friday, metrics attached. 1 sentence, 1 metric, 1 date, then do it. You will feel smaller in the moment and larger by the ledger. Results are quiet armor. Picture the founder once mocked in a pitch. Every investor meeting became a stage. She answered questions before they were asked, promised global distribution by fall, and posted emojis after handshakes. Deals stalled. She rewrote the play. 1 pilot market, 1 distribution partner, a 30-day KPI, and a follow-up report. She said less, delivered more. The second meeting was about terms, not charisma. Showmanship wanted to be seen. Commitment wanted to be measured. The shadow stayed, but it learned to sit. Install a ritual to starve the need to perform. Before any public promise, write the smallest commitment that still moves the needle and underline the proof that will verify it. If the proof is vague, you are still in theater. Delay the announcement until the evidence exists or the path is locked. Your belief stops being loud and starts being heavy. That weight is authority. Scarcity becomes bargain self. Fear of drought discounts your price and your standards. You soften scope to be liked. You accept exposure because visibility feels like oxygen. You say yes to quick favors that take 3 nights because the inbox sounds like opportunity. Drought thinking shrinks the horizon. All you can see is today's yes, not tomorrow's cost. You end up rich in motion and poor in momentum. Ring the warning bell and set minimums. Decide in calm what you will not cross. Minimum scope, minimum pay, minimum timeline. Post them where panic can see them, on your desk, in calendar notes. Next to your camera. My minimum engagement is 4 weeks. My rate starts at X with Y deliverables. Turnaround under 48 hours adds a rush fee. These are not demands. They are guardrails for belief. If a request arrives under the line, offer alternatives that cost you nothing. A template, a checklist, a link. Then keep your hands off the work. Build a second channel so no is affordable. 1 buyer breeds fear. 2 buyers breed composure. Create a modest newsletter you own, a quiet referral loop, a productized service, or a parallel customer segment. Think of it as oxygen in the tank. The goal is not to be everywhere. It is to have 1 more door you can open when the first one jams. Optionality turns no from a cliff into a corridor. Modern Scene, a freelance developer, keeps taking low-budget, high-drama gigs. She writes floors, adds a simple intake form, and launches a small maintenance plan for past clients. In a month, 2 bargain hunters fade, 1 retainer lands, and her tone changes. The calendar still has gaps, but now the gaps are air, not threat. The bargain self loses its microphone. Scarcity remains, but it respects the rope line. Anger becomes scorched deals. Rage burns bridges and prints liabilities. A partner delays, and you fire off a public ultimatum. An engineer errs, and you promise punishment on the team channel. You feel strong in the moment and weak at renewal. Broad heat makes enemies and teaches allies to hide the truth. Your belief in standards becomes unbelievable because your enforcement is theater. Heat without handle is waste. Choose cool, corrective action. Use a 24-hour rule if the house isn't literally on fire. Wait a day before sending heat. Sleep is strategy. When you speak, speak to interests. We both need stability and speed. Two-step plan, small release with rollback guardrails this week, full rollout after SLO pass, then draft consequences you can enforce, narrow, written, and boring. Next, slip beyond 48 hours reduces payment by 15% and triggers weekly checkpoints. Send it privately. If they comply, acknowledge proportionally. If they do not, execute without drama. Respect follows the paper. Consider the manager who wanted to make an example after a missed deadline. Instead, she invoked the clause they had agreed to, moved 2 features to backlog, and set a peer review gate on the next deploy. Error rates fell, morale steadied. The engineer stayed, improved, and thanked her 3 weeks later for the clarity. No public flames, just a cooler system that held. Now the counter orders pocket lines that make discipline easier than drama. Carry them like tools so your body has a script when reflexes flare. 2 options by Friday. When talk sprawls, you set a fork and a clock. Pilot first. When a big ask arrives, you carve a small high-signal test. If they resist a pilot, they will resist accountability later. Terms attached. When you agree in principle, you attach the paper, scope, dates, definitions, and the small teeth that keep trust honest. 2 slots next week. When flattery tries to bypass your gate, you offer availability, not approval hunger. Send scope in 1 page. When the ask is fog, you demand condensation. Vague requests waste belief. Clear pages attract it. Minimums are posted. When panic wants to discount, you point to the line. If they cannot meet it, offer a resource, not yourself. I'll reply tomorrow. When heat spikes, you give time the first word. You are not withholding, you are protecting the work. Practice them in the wild. A senior exec messages, quick idea, can you spin up a deck tonight? You breathe. 2 options by Friday. A 5-slide pilot outline or a full deck next week. Terms attached. A prospect says, budget is tight. Can you lower the rate? You answer. Minimums are posted. Happy to start with a pilot first. A partner vents by email. You type, I'll reply tomorrow, and you do, with the clause, the metric, and the next check-in on the calendar. Your tone stays low. Your structure does the lifting. Across humiliation, scarcity, and anger runs the same law. The unconscious is loud. The conscious is lawful. Belief is not a feeling you perform. It is a structure you build. You do not banish the shadow, you bind it to useful work. Humiliation learns to fuel focus. Scarcity learns to fund standards. Anger learns to weld consequences. Your belief stops being a speech and becomes a set of moves. Rooms change temperature around you because you carry rules, not moods. Before you sleep, write 1 verifiable commitment, 3 minimums, and the consequence you can enforce tomorrow. Put the pocket lines where your thumb will find them. In a week, you will talk less and deliver more. In a month, people will treat your words like contracts. In a quarter, your own nervous system will trust you again. The shadow will still knock, but the gate will answer with rules. Promise less, prove more, and make your adua yes sis carry law. The mirror cracks in silence. 1 email, 1 refusal, 1 meeting where your name slides off the table like a coin to the floor. You rehearse the pitch, polish the case, stacked your hours like bricks, and the door still closed. Pride stings. Your private story, I'm destined, loses a word and becomes I'm unsure. Breathe. Do not bleed out on fiction. We will pull facts from the shards and build again on what moves, not on what charms. Study the fracture like a map. Which gate turned you back? A recruiter who needs certainty, not promise. A procurement officer who prices risk, not dreams, a platform that favors incumbents at quarter end. Which risk did they name, even between the lines? Delivery, reputation, security, political? Which timing did you miss? Budget already allocated, runway too short, season wrong for experiments. Write it plain. If they offered only a cool smile, derive the message from their action, they protected their position, not your potential. Accept the nature of the gate, adjust the key. The broken mirror does not mean you are broken. It means the image you sold outpaced the proof you carried. Shrink the gap. Take the sting, then extract the data. Gate, risk, timing. This is not self-pity, this is reconnaissance. Now the audit, control, influence, ignore. Do it like a statesman counting grain before winter. Control. You own your schedule, your standards, your pipeline. Schedule. Build the day as a fortress. Deep work in the first 2 hours. Outreach in a tight block. Review before close. Set a weekly cadence. Plan Monday. Ship daily. Review Friday. Standards. Define done, good, and great. Done ships on time with tests, docs, and a rollback path. Good produces a measurable outcome. Great survives without you for a week. Publish these definitions and enforce them. Pipeline. Do not bet your mood on one gate. Keep multiple prospects in motion. Always be building the next 3 options, so a single refusal cannot crown itself as truth. Influence. You do not command markets, but you can tilt them. Patrons find those who win when you win. Buyers needing quick, clean results. Partners who resell your edge. Managers whose metrics rise with your delivery. Give them clarity first. One-page briefs, simple pricing, crisp timelines. Proofs let receipts speak. Case studies tying actions to outcomes, before and after charts. Tiny demos that run in 60 seconds with no excuses. Warm intros. After each successful delivery, ask for 2 names and provide a short intro they can forward. Influence is not flattery. It is preparation that makes agreeing the easiest path. Ignore. Gossip, algorithm mood, anonymous applause, or scorn. Gossip cannot sign a contract. Algorithms are weather, build roofs, not prayers. 1,000 likes do not equal a single wire transfer. When the crowd hisses or cheers, record nothing. Measure only what moves the garden. Time to close, time to ship, quality rate, renewal rate. Everything else is noise wearing makeup. Return to the field with the salvage crew. Keep assets that hold under pressure, skills, receipts, reliable allies. Skills, the work itself. If rejection targeted polish, sharpen polish. If it targeted trust, learn to show your method in 5 clear steps. Train until your hand can execute. When voice shakes, receipts, collect and order them. Dashboards, signed letters, on-time deliveries, issues resolved under fire. Build a library where your future self can pull proof in 2 minutes. Reliable allies, the steady ones who carry weight, strengthen them with clear briefs and fair terms. Thank them same day. Loyalty compounds when it is seen. Now burn sunk costs. Toxic threads where scope leaks into midnight. Archive. Replace with a single intake form that demands definition, goal, deadline, budget, authority, unfunded scope, close cleanly. Here is what shipped. Here is the price to extend. If they stall, you stop. Kill rituals that fed the image instead of the outcome. Endless networking without a target. Content chasing trend instead of proof. Meetings that produce mood, but not motion. Fire the costume, keep the armor. Rebuild identity on competence and cadence. Competence is your method, cadence is your drum. Set a visible metronome. Daily stand up with yourself, plan, block, next step. Weekly review, what shipped, what slipped, what scaled. Monthly ledger, cash in, cash out, risks rising, bets paying. Put these where ambition can no longer bluff you. Competence turns rejection into feedback. Cadence turns feedback into forward motion. Make it concrete. You pitched a product and heard, we can't risk downtime. Translate. Delivery risk. You respond by tightening release practice, feature flags, canary deploys, rollback drills, and record a 60-second demo showing deploy and rollback. Lead with it next time. Another gate says, budget is closed until Q2. Translate. Timing. Offer a pilot with a small footprint and a low monthly. Book a follow-up for the first week of the new quarter and send a calendar hold. A third gate says nothing. just silence. Assume reputation, risk or misfit. Answer with sharper proof or withdraw and redeploy where fit and timing align. Control, influence, ignore, repeat until calm returns. Tighten your schedule so the day stops leaking. Raise your standards so the work stops wobbling. Widen your pipeline so single decisions lose the power to define you. Grow your patrons so rooms you never enter carry your case. And when your thumb reaches for a feed to self-soothe, remind it that algorithms do not buy outcomes. Put the phone down. Pick the next task up. Practice the decisive no to your own illusions. No, you are not owed because you tried. No, the universe is not late. Your preparation was. No, you do not need to be loud. You need to be clear. Yes, you will feel the bruise. You will not build from it. You will build from the bench of skills, from the queue of prospects, from the calendar that protects craft, from the proofs that speak without you. When the mirror broke, it took a costume with it. Let it go. Inside is the worker prince, patient and exact. You will still use voice, but it will ride rails of evidence and timing. You will still want applause, but you will price value and accept the quiet that follows a clean delivery. You will still tell stories, but your favorite will end with numbers that close the mouth of doubt. Rejection is not the verdict. It is the scout returning with a map. It told you which gate, which risk, which timing. Answer with schedule, standards, pipeline. Answer with patrons, proofs, intros. Answer with the fire that burns waste and the water that keeps routine. Move again, not as a performer begging for weather, but as a builder setting the day. Competence first, cadence always. He who wishes to be obeyed must know how to command. Strip the romance from opportunity. See the bid under the bouquet. Most offers are interest wrapped in flattery, not devotion. You honor yourself when you translate praise into positions, what they fear, what they seek, what they hope you will risk so they do not have to. A calm mind thinks in margins, not music. When you remove the sting, you can price the move. Affection versus advantage. Someone says, "You're exactly what we've been missing." Decode it. They fear time. They seek speed. They cannot fund internally. The influencer who calls your work inspiring wants your audience at a discount. The partner who gushes about synergy wants your credibility to launder their execution risk. This is not evil. It is arithmetic. Map each complement to a pressure, budget, timeline, reputation, or compliance. Then map your response to a lever, scope, price, governance, timeline. Keep your face neutral and your notes specific. Ask yourself, if their praise vanished, would the numbers hold? If not, the deal is costume. A Machiavellian mercy: treat people as they are, agents of their own interest, and you will conserve respect for both sides. You are not a statue for admiration. You are a force that trades risk for results. From pleading to pricing. Replace "choose me" with "here is the outcome. Here are the terms, here is the window." In negotiation, design the choice. Offer at least two paths and a default path, a higher speed. Premium price, strict governance. Path B, standard pace. Broader scope, lower price, default, do nothing, with the cost of delay made explicit. Publish resources, acceptance criteria, and escalation routes. You are not asking for love. You are proposing a contract reality can verify. Write like a ledger, not a lyric. Outcome: reduce onboarding drop-off from 28% to 18% in 60 days. Terms: 1 p.m., 1 FE, weekly data access, change request by Tuesday noon, window, quote valid 10 business days. Acceptance: activation rate above 40% for 2 consecutive weeks. Median load under 2.4s. Escalation: if assets slip, scope narrows or date moves with price adjustment. Crisp language lowers uncertainty and raises your leverage. People do not buy hunger, they buy handles. Menu your offers publicly where it makes sense. A visible menu saves you from endless apologies. Advisory hour fixed fee, recorded summary, 2 email follow-ups, workshop day rate, prep call, materials included, travel at cost, retainer, monthly cadence, fixed outputs, quarterly review. If they ask for a discount, trade, don't fold, less scope for less price, or a longer window for a lower rate. If they push urgency, add a rush premium and prepayment. Urgency is a price, not a compliment. Set defaults to avoid drift. Decision by Friday 5 p.m. Silence selects path B. Deposit by Monday to hold the dates. Defaults are quiet governors. They move the game without raising voices. When ghosting occurs, release the hold and close the file. Never chase with emotion. Move the slot to the next payer. Your calendar is a fortress. Invitations enter through gates, not holes. Status is rented. Reputation renews with delivery and fair enforcement, not charm. Each kept boundary and shipped outcome is a vote for your authority. The executive who fills rooms with applause but leaves no receipts soon finds her calendar full of ceremonies and empty of power. The operator who says little, posts clear briefs, and closes loops on time keeps the lease. Charm opens doors, reliability keeps the keys. Make reliability visible. Maintain a changelog. Promises, progress, postmortems. After every meeting, send a one-page memo: decision, owner, metric, deadline, risk. When you miss, pay your own late fee, outline the fix, and reset the clock. This is not penance, it is signal. You teach the room what happens when reality bends. Systems respect those who respect them first. Fair enforcement beats loud charisma. Enforce the rule you would apply against yourself. Late assets, reduce scope and continue. Scope creep without approval, pause and reprice. Payment delay, stop delivery, resume on receipt. No anger, only sequence. Mercy lives in speed and clarity, not in letting the roof leak. When your rules are predictable, people plan well around you. Planning well is the most sincere form of loyalty at work. Anchor your worth in cadence. You can perform on a gray Tuesday, craft clean, ship on schedule. Document the truth as it is, not as you wish it to be. Let praise hit the ledger as signal, not food. Let flattery roll off like rain on stone. You stand not because they adore you, but because your machine runs and your numbers stand up in daylight. Opportunity is not a love letter. It is a bid. Read it, price it, govern it. If interests align, sign and move. If they don't, exit cleanly. With a door left unbroken and your time intact, the world is round. Well-run gates see travelers twice. I answer praise with terms, and I renew my status by delivery. He who wishes to be obeyed must know how to command. Machiavelli. Your moods are weather. Your system is the harbor. You will cool the inside and warm the outside. You will trade improvisation for institutions. You will govern your days like a city-state. Laws, levers, allies, and a story that outruns rumor. Begin with strategic coldness, warm face. Inside you map interests, risks, and fallback paths with the indifference of an auditor. Who profits if you move? Who bleeds if you stall? What happens if the plan fails at the first gate? Draw 3 columns for every player: motives, exposures, and exits. Motives, status, security, speed. Exposures, reputation, budget, coordination, exits. What you will do if they withdraw, delay, or betray. A senior manager promising air cover. Your fallback is a pared-down scope with written guardrails and a second approver ready to sign. A platform partner with reach but unstable rules. Your fallback is a parallel channel you own. You are not cynical. You are prepared. Outside, you keep brevity, courtesy, and a steady tone. Your emails read like clean contracts. Thank you, decision, options, deadline. You do not perform urgency. You schedule it. Your voice stays even when others spike. You say, I appreciate the push. Here are 2 paths. If I don't hear by Thursday noon, we proceed with the default. Doors stay open because your manners do. Pieces keep moving because your clock does. Calm is not weakness. Calm is policy. Now the 4 ruthless levers that turn presence into predictable movement. First, agenda power. Lead with the decision, not the drama. Ship baseline in 2 weeks, or chase a risky feature in 4, recommend baseline. Present time boxed options with a written default. If the room stalls, the default advances. Speak last after silence draws truth to the surface. A product review becomes a ballot, not a stage. Modern example, a one-page brief appears at minute 1, timer visible, decision on line 1, 2 trade-offs beneath it, and a default that activates when the timer ends. The meeting stops being theater and becomes a vote with rails. Second, the scarcity frame. Make the cost of choice visible. Publish the pipeline 3 build slots, 2 advisory windows, 1 launch month. When a late request arrives, show the queue and ask which item drops or which budget fills the gap. Scarcity is not a threat, it is the physics of time. A freelancer lists 4 retainer seats with deposits and start dates. A creator offers 2 collaboration windows per month and closes links after 48 hours. A manager posts capacity charts in the team channel, so any quick favor has to name what it displaces. Scarcity ends the moral theater where quick means invisible, unpaid labor. Third, coalition arithmetic. Seat beneficiaries near doubters. Let testimony oxygenate the room before objections compress it. The team whose toil shrank after last sprint's automation speaks before the team that fears the next change. The client who grew revenue on the pilot speaks before finance asks for more proof. Reward refers in public. We closed this deal from Anna's intro. She gets first look at the follow-on. They become your distributed embassy. By aligning the order of voices with the order of incentives, you convert argument into momentum. Your gate no longer serves a single person. It serves a network that keeps bringing you qualified, winnable work. Fourth, proof cadence. Weekly micro results that speak for you when you are elsewhere. A bug rate drops, onboarding shortens by 5 minutes, trial to paid lifts by 2 points. Publish receipts. 1 page, same template, before and after. A chart, 1 sentence from the beneficiary, and the next step with a date. You are not selling, you are documenting. Over time, the drumbeat makes your story boring in the best way. Predictable progress, visible credits, repeatable wins. Executives forward your page because it is short and numerate. Prospects arrive pre-convinced because the evidence is ambient. Boundaries with teeth. Protect the engine. Publish rules once, enforce consistently, escalate narrowly. Scope slip, time slip, or de-scope. No third path where your team absorbs the debt in silence. No sponsor, no meeting, payment unlocks work. When someone tests the fence, could you squeeze this in? Point to the rule and offer the lawful exchange. Move the date or drop the item. Do not raise your voice. Raise the price of chaos. A change request generates its own ticket and clock. A missed review triggers the default. A late payment pauses delivery automatically. People learn that compliance is the path of least resistance, and respect grows because the rules are the same for everyone. Here is a modern week governed by these levers. Monday, agenda power. Your stand-up starts with the decision line, 5 minutes per option. The default advances if silence wins. 2 items resolve, 1 moves to pilot. Tuesday, scarcity frame. A partner asks for expansion. You share the pipeline. They choose to drop a lower value item. Deposit sent, harmony preserved. Wednesday, coalition arithmetic. You host a short round table, beneficiaries. First doubters second. Referrer thanked by name. The mood shifts because proof speaks in complete sentences. Thursday, proof cadence. A one-pager lands with before-after shots, a micro win and the next deliverable. Friday, boundaries with teeth. A late urgent idea becomes a change request with its own scope and date. The week closes clean. The system works because it reduces theater. People know your rules and your rhythm. They arrive prepared or they don't arrive. You earn the right to be brief. You buy peace with predictability. The shadow part of you that craves chaos or applause gets no vote because the rails decide. You are not colder, you are clearer. You are not harsher, you are fairer. Now the second court, your insurance against the single gatekeeper. Build alternate buyers, channels, and allies, so no one door can trap you. Cultivate a newsletter you own, a partner marketplace across industries, and a portfolio of small patrons who fund experiments. Speak at 2 different guilds, list on 2 platforms, and nurture 3 customers who can each carry a quarter of your target. If one palace closes, another opens before the echo fades. Keep relationships warm with light touches, a quarterly check-in, a small referral, a thank you note with a metric attached. Practice exits before you need them. Second court means options in time. Not only in place, Stagger renewal dates so no single month holds your fate. Diversify offer shapes, retainers, sprints, licenses, teaching. Design an asset that earns while you sleep. A playbook, a template, a toolkit, and let the proof cadence sell it without you. Mentor a junior who can cover when you travel. Become the senior who can open doors when they rise. Optionality is not hedging. Optionality is oxygen. Do not wait for crisis to build it. Plant now. A founder with one whale client is a servant. A creator bound to one algorithm is a tenant. A leader who bets everything on one sponsor is a petitioner. You will be none of these. You will be a small republic with trade routes in every wind. When you negotiate, you will feel the strength of multiple harbors inside your chest. Your tone will be steady because your exits are real. In the end, reliability becomes your legend. Strategic coldness inside lets you see the board. Warm manners outside keep the city friendly. Agenda power sets the slope. Scarcity makes weight visible. Coalition arithmetic arranges momentum. Proof cadence prints the receipts. Boundaries with teeth protect the road. The second court secures the horizon. Power stops being performance and becomes a timetable others can set their watches by. Calm structure, plural doors. He who wishes to be obeyed must know how to command. You want self-belief that does not shout. It breathes. It orders the room without raising a hand. Real confidence is not a storm. It is the harbor that receives one. You build it like a defended garden. Boundaries are walls. Routines are irrigation. Buffers are shade. You do this so weather does not decide your life, and panic does not become your policy. Start with the walls. You draw your perimeter in time and attention. You set meeting gates, hard starts, hard stops, single decisions. If someone arrives without data, they wait beyond the gate. Your morning is a closed courtyard. 90 minutes of deep work, phone silenced, tabs minimal, quick questions are catapults. You keep them outside. You let the rules carry the force so your voice can stay even and evenness becomes authority. Irrigation is cadence. Water the roots at the same hours so focus grows without drama. Daily planning in 10 lines. Weekly reviews on the same day, same template, goals, risks, next steps. Monthly strategy for the horizon you can actually steer. Give interrupts a home office hours twice a week where anyone can knock outside those channels. You protect the build. Cadence is not romance. It is plumbing for attention. Shade is margin. Between calls, 10 minutes to write next steps while memory is warm. In the roadmap, 20% slack. So reality has somewhere to land. In cash, a reserve that buys you time when a payment drifts late. Redundancies become cool air. A second supplier contracted, a backup deck exported, a spare hotspot charged, under shade. People think, under shade, you do not bargain with fire. This is how calm feels like a victory you maintain. You don't wait to feel centered, you act centered. And the structure returns your investment. Crisis will still visit, a demo will freeze, a rumor will spike tension, but you will walk the lanes you already laid. Who decides, by when, with which inputs, and what exit? If the facts turn, the form absorbs the heat, the mind stays cool. Now the second truth, the long game beats the loud surge. The surge wants worship now. The long game wants reputation later. Choose loops and renewals over heroics. A daily outreach target beats a desperate quarter-end blitz. A 2-week sprint beats a last-night miracle push. A recurring risk review drains fear of its theater. Small and steady is not timid. It is lethal across seasons. Modern life proves it. A creator who posts short, useful work every weekday grows trust that no viral spike can buy. A sales leader who replies within 2 hours, even just to set expectations, makes clients feel held, so deals live longer. A manager who keeps one-on-ones on the same day each week surfaces problems early, while they are still soft. Consistency is persuasion. People plan around what repeats. Anchor hope in system, not mood. Mood is weather, system is law. When you are tired, the checklist still asks what matters, what risks, what gets cut. When you are euphoric, buffers stop you from spending tomorrow's blood. Self-belief then stops being a speech and becomes a policy. We keep promises under pressure, not after inspiration strikes. That is adult confidence, measured, practiced, quiet. Now the parting mandate: never beg. Measure, price, position, act. Count before you move: time, cash, reputation, political cost. Price your work so the margin funds the shade that keeps people thinking. Position where your strengths bite and your cadence can hold. Markets that value reliability over spectacle. Filter access. The garden is not a common road. Reward alignment. Partners who respect the wall move to the front. Then move. Speak last so you hear the unvarnished map. Decide fast so confusion pays the tax, not you. Leave the room moving. An owner, a metric, a deadline, an exit. If facts change, let storms do their theater outside your gate. Inside, belief is order, and order keeps its word. Calm is my policy, and I keep it.